Dear student, I welcome you all. Today I am going to teach you about the electric potential and potential difference. Electric potential. Before going to learn about that electric potential, we are taking the look on the known things. That is the gravitational potential. First of all, you know very well, if I consider this is the ground surface, then I have this duster. Suppose a duster is at a zero potential. That means I have not done any type of work on this duster. Then after what happens? Suppose duster having mass is equal to m and its gravitational force in the downward direction is equal to m into g. If I want to lift that duster, then what happens? I have to apply the force in the upward direction. Actually, the gravitational force acting in the downward direction, that gravitational force is equal to m into g, because m is the mass of this duster and g is the acceleration due to gravity, and therefore m into g is the force acting in the downward direction. If I want to lift this duster to the upward direction, then what happens? I have to apply the force in the opposite direction. Gravitational force acting in the downward direction, I have to apply the force in the upward direction. Then what happens? After applying this much force, that means m into g in the upward direction, I can lift that duster in the upward direction. Suppose I lifted that duster through the height h, then what happens? How much work I have done on that duster? Force into displacement, and that is equal to mg into h, and that is called as a gravitational potential energy. Look at this. Suppose this is the ground surface on which there is a duster and its mass is equal to m, and therefore the force acting in the downward direction, that is equal to m into g, and this is the force. If I want to, at this point, that its potential is equal to 0, then what happens? I apply the force in the upward direction, and that force is exactly equal to F m into g in the upward direction, and by applying that much force, I lifted that duster through the height h, and then what happens? I have done the work done, and that work done is equal to force into displacement, and that is equal to h. Force is equal to m into g, and displacement is h, and that means how much work I have done on this duster? On this duster I have done the work, and that work is equal to m into g into h, and therefore at a height h, that work done will be stored as a potential energy, and that potential energy is exactly equal to m into g into h. This is the potential energy. But remember one thing, in this case I considered the mass of the object is equal to m. If I consider the mass of the object is equal to unit mass means that mass is equal to, if SI system you are considering, that time mass is equal to 1 kg. If the mass is equal to 1 kg, downward force is exactly equal to 1 into g. Then to lift that duster, I have to apply that force is equal to m into g, that means 1 into g in the upward direction. If I lifted that duster through the height h, then how much work I have done on that duster? That time that work is equal to 1 into g into h, and that will be called as a potential at height h, and that is exactly equal to 1 into g into h. Look at this. The potential at this ground surface is equal to 0. Potential at a height h, which is equal to work done in lifting the duster or lifting the mass of having 1 kg through the height h. And this is the very analogous to the gravitational electrical potential and electrical potential difference. Look at this. Now, then after the similar thing, we are going to study about the electric potential. I put here one charge q, and that q charge, due to which q charge at its surrounding, there will be the formation of electric field. At its all surrounding, there will be the formation of electric field. Now, then at a distance r from the charge q, I have to measure this electric field in a scalar quantity. Electric field you can measure in two quantities. One is a vector quantity, that is called as electric field intensity or field strength. That thing we have already studied in last period. Now we are going to study about the scalar quantity of that electric field. Due to the charge q at a distance r, that field is measured in electric potential, and that is denoted as a V. And our aim is to find out the electric potential at a distance r. First of all, before going to find out the electric potential, we must have to understand what is the meaning of electric potential. For this electric potential, suppose at an infinite distance, I put here 1 coulomb charge. How much charge I put there? 1 coulomb charge. Now, then after I have to move that 1 coulomb charge from infinity to this position, and then for that purpose, to move this charge 1 coulomb from infinite to this position at a distance r, I have to do some work. And that work will be stored in the form of potential, and that will be called as a electric potential. Very simple. I put here 1 kg mass, and by applying the force in the opposite direction to the gravitational force, I lifted that duster to the height h. Then the potential at height h from this surface will be exactly equal to work done to lift that duster of 1 kg through the height h. Like the same way, if I put here 1 coulomb charge and move that charge from infinite distance to this point V, that time I have to do some work, and that work will be stored in the form of potential, and that will be called as an electric potential. Now look at this. That work done, and that's why according to this you can define its definition suggests that definition is nothing but the work done in moving. Work done in moving 1 coulomb charge. I written here 1 coulomb, but you must have to remember 1 coulomb charge is nothing but you can say that this charge is a unit charge, and that's why work done in moving 1 coulomb charge is nothing but the electric potential. Very simple. Work done in moving 1 coulomb charge from infinite position to this position, because of the fact that due to this plus q charge on the 1 coulomb charge there is a force of repulsion, and that's why that force is acting in the outward direction, and I have to apply the force in the opposite direction of that electrical force, and by applying this force I have to move the charge of 1 coulomb from infinite distance to the position where I have to find out the electric potential, and that work will be stored, and that stored work for unit charge is called as an electric potential. You must have to remember this definition of that electric potential is nothing but the amount of work done in moving unit positive charge from infinite position to the position where you want to find out the electric potential. We have to find out the potential at this point. At this point we have to find out the electric potential. But you know very well, 1 coulomb charge consists of 6.24 into 10 to the power 18 number of missing electrons. That means 6, 2, 4 having 16 zeros. That much number of electrons missing is called as a positive charge, and it is not possible to put here that 1 coulomb charge. For that purpose, in actual situation, we put here one test charge Q0, move that test charge Q0 from infinite distance to this distance, find the work done, and then work done for a Q0 charge obtained, and that work done is denoted as work done in moving Q0 charge from infinite distance to the observation point, which is at a distance r from the source charge, and this is called as a work done in moving Q0 charge. Work done in moving Q0 charge. Then after you have to remember one thing, you should have to understand these things. Suppose 100 rupees is the cost for 5 pence. I am giving you an example. 100 rupees is the cost for 5 pence. Then can you calculate the cost for 1 pen? It is very simple. You know very well. Therefore, cost for 1 pen that is equal to cost for 5 pen divided by number of pens. It will give you the cost for 1 pence. Like the same way, work done for Q0 is equal to this much. Can you calculate the work done for 1 coulomb charge? Work done for 1 coulomb unit charge, that is equal to this much charge. Work done for Q0 charge, that much divided by Q0. It will give you the work done for unit charge, and this is the basic concept, and that's why the potential will be exactly equal to work done for the Q0 charge in moving infinity to r distance, that much divided by Q0. It will give you the work done for 1 coulomb charge, and this way you can easily find out the electric potential for 1 coulomb charge. Do you get this? Then after, but in actual situation, our aim is to find out electric potential due to this charge Q, and that is called as an electric potential due to a point charge. For that purpose, now I am writing here potential, electric potential, which is equal to work done in moving the charge from infinity to the position where I have to Q0 charge, that much divided by Q0, it is nothing but the electric potential. Now our aim is to find out the electric potential due to point charge. For that purpose, we considered one point charge Q placed at this point, placed at this position, and at a distance r from the source charge, we have to find out the electric potential. For that purpose, V is equal to how much? This is our aim. For that purpose, I extend this line. Consider two positions. One is a A position and second one is a B position. What I am going to do? At the position A, I will put one test charge Q0, move that test charge Q0 from position A to B, and that work done will be considered as a small work done or elementary work done. This will be denoted as a dW, and thereafter, by applying mathematical tool of integration, we can find out the work done from infinite distance to the position R. For that purpose, I considered here the point A and then point B. At point A, I put here one smaller test charge Q0. Then after, I move that test charge Q0 from A to B. And this distance, first of all, the distance from this charge Q to position A is considered as X. Remember this thing. I considered, for your understanding, the distance from source charge to the position of Q0 is considered as X. And I move that charge Q0 through the distance dx. How much distance I moved in this direction? Dx. Now, actually, you know very well, according to Coulomb's law or according to the concept of electric field, we observed that due to the charge Q at a distance r, the electric field intensity, which is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q divided by r square. What does it mean? Due to the charge Q at a distance r, at this position, the electric field intensity is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q divided by r square. If in place of r, I consider the distance x, that time you must have to consider here, in place of r, you have to put here x, and that becomes the electric field intensity at this position, which is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q divided by x square. This is the value. And the electric field intensity acting in the outward direction. In which direction that electric field intensity will act? In the outward direction. Similarly, you have to remember one thing, electric field intensity is nothing but the force per unit charge. We obtained in the same way. Force on 1 coulomb charge, but we obtained the force on Q0 charge divided by Q0. It will give you the force per unit charge, or you can say that at this point, the force on 1 coulomb charge is exactly equal to E. Now, similarly, look at this. At the position A, due to the electric field, at this position, the electric field intensity is equal to E. And it acts in the outward direction. And I have to apply the force to move the charge Q0 from this position to this position. That means I have to apply the force towards your left direction. That means that force is equal to, I am writing here, force which is equal to, force on 1 coulomb charge is equal to E, force on Q0 charge is equal to Q0 multiplied by E. But E is acting in the outward direction. How much force I have to apply? With a negative sign, because I have to apply the opposite force. Just like the same example I have given you, the duster, the gravitational force acting in the downward direction, and you have to apply the force in the upward direction. Like this, the electric field at this position is vector E acting in the outward direction, but I have to apply the force in inward direction, and that force is exactly equal to Q0 into E in the opposite direction, and that's why I have written here minus. Then after, work done is equal to work done in moving the charge from A to B. That small work done is denoted as a dW. That work done is denoted as a dW, and that work done is exactly equal to force into displacement. Force into displacement, or vector F dot vector dx. I have to put here vector F is equal to minus of Q0 into electric vector E multiplied by dot dx. You must have to remember this dW is equal to. This is your first very important condition. Then after, look at this. Electric field intensity acting in this outward direction, dx in this direction, and that's why the angle between that electric field intensity and dx, that is equal to 180 degree. Angle between that is equal to 180 degree, one thing. And that's why if I consider the dot product of E and dx, it will become E into dx into cos of 180 degree. Cos of 180 degree is equal to minus 1, and then it becomes minus of E dot dx. One minus will come due to this dot sign. I am drawing here one minus, multiplied by second minus occur due to this dx. And then after this minus into minus, it becomes plus. Don't be confused. Just remember one thing. Vector E dot dx. Vector E is acting in the outward direction. Dx is in the inward direction, and therefore angle between E and dx is equal to 180 degree, and therefore E dot dx, that is equal to E into dx into cos of 180 degree. Cos of 180 degree is equal to minus 1. That's why one minus sign comes due to this dot product. Second one is a dx. Look at this. The distance is x, but dx is decreasing in case of x, and that's why due to this dx decreasing, I have to put here, or we have to put here negative sign, and therefore due to this both the cases, one is a dot product and second one is a dx decreasing direction, and that's why you have to put here minus sign, and this minus multiplied by minus, it becomes plus, and then after this will becomes minus of Q0 into E into dx. Very simple. Then I have to put here value of E and right here minus of, this is the work done in moving the charge Q0 from A to B. But I have to find out the potential, and that is equal to total work done. Total work done means I have to integrate that work done from which position? Infinite to R, and that's why I have to put here infinite to R, and that much divided by Q0. Potential is nothing but the small work done, but I have to consider the total work done from infinity to this position, and that much divided by Q0. Why I have to divide it by Q0? Because in this case I am moving the charge Q0, not moving the charge 1 coulomb. That's why I have to consider here charge Q0. Now go ahead with this integration from infinity to R. dW is equal to minus of Q0, the value of E is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q divided by x square into dx, and that much divided by Q0. This Q0 gets cancelled, and the remaining is minus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q divided by x square into dx. If I am solving this, that is equal to minus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q into integration of 1 by x square dx from the limit infinity to R. Then integration of 1 by x square dx. Look at this, 1 by x square is nothing but x to the power minus 2. I am writing here x to the power minus 2, and integration of x to the power n. There is a standard formula. Integration of x to the power n, that is equal to x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. In place of n, put minus 2. Minus 2 plus 1, it becomes minus 1. Minus 2 plus 1, it becomes minus 1. That means x to the power minus 1 divided by minus 1. That is exactly equal to minus 1 by x. That is equal to minus 1 by x. And that's why this becomes minus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q into the 1 by x. This minus gets cancelled, from the limit infinity to r. Then after you have to put in this integral 1 by r minus 1 by infinity. Again, this is equal to 1 by r minus 1 by infinity. This 1 by infinity is equal to 0 and 1 by r minus 0, that is equal to 1 by r. And then that result becomes v is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 q divided by r. This way you can easily obtain the potential due to point charge, that is exactly equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 q divided by r. Remember, this way you can easily find out the electric potential. Now the second part, we are moving ahead, and that part is this way we obtain, due to the charge q at a distance r, electric potential V is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 q divided by r. What is electric potential? Electric potential is nothing but the work done in moving q0 charge from infinity to r divided by q0. Now, then after, our aim is to find out the potential difference. Suppose this is the source charge q, due to which what happened at its surrounding, there is a formation of electric field. Then at a distance r, here the potential is V. But our aim is to find out the potential difference at these 2 points. One is A point and second one is a B point. Tell me one thing, if at a distance, infinite distance, if I put 1 coulomb charge, I put how much charge? 1 coulomb charge at an infinite distance. In moving that 1 coulomb charge from infinite position to the position A, if I have done the work done, and that work done is denoted as a WA. Second time, I move the charge 1 coulomb from infinite distance and move the charge to position B, and that work done is called as a WB. And we know very well, potential at A, I am writing here, potential at A is nothing but the amount of work done in moving 1 coulomb charge from infinity to that point. Here I considered A point, and that's why amount of work done in moving 1 coulomb charge from infinite position to the position A, that is equal to WA. And that's why I have to consider VA is equal to WA, and that WA is equal to minus of integral of vector E dot dr. Because of 1 coulomb charge, in place of this, if I consider Q0, that time force is equal to Q0 into E. But I consider 1 coulomb, then in the opposite direction, force is equal to minus E dot dr from the position infinite to A. Second, WB, that is equal to work done in moving the 1 coulomb charge from infinite position to the position B, that is exactly equal to minus vector E dot dr. Similarly, VB is equal to WB, and that is equal to this much. Now, look at this figure. One thing, 1 coulomb charge moved from this position to this position, that time some work done is done. In second case, the charge moved from 1 coulomb charge moved from this position to this position, and that work done is WB. You can easily say that the distance is less as compared to this distance, and that's why work done must be less as compared to this work done, and that's why this work done is small and this work done is more, and that's why you can say that the potential at point B is more and potential at point A is low, and that's why at point B this is the high potential point and this is low potential point, higher potential point, and this is lower potential point, and that's why the potential difference between B and A, potential difference between B and A, that is denoted as, suppose V again, that is equal to V at B minus V at A, which is equal to V at B is equal to integration E dot dr. This minus this you can find, or V at B that is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q divided by, this is Q divided by position of at B that is equal to R suffix B minus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q divided by R suffix A. If you take out common 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 and Q, that time it becomes 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q multiplied by 1 upon RB minus 1 upon RA. This way you can easily find out the potential difference between 2 points A and B. This is the simplest way, or by applying this concept, by applying the concept that moving the charge from A to B only. The second case is if you move the 1 coulomb charge from A to B only, that time you have to integrate from A to B, consider minus vector E dot dr, you will get the same result. This way you can find out the potential difference between A and B, that is denoted as V, or you can write this is equal to VB minus VA. Again you apply the same constant that we have already studied. If the point A is at infinite, that time potential at A will be considered as a 0. That time VB is again equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0, and the radius at B that is equal to infinite, and 1 upon infinite that is equal to 0, and the result becomes 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q divided by RA. This way you can also find out the potential difference between 2 points. Now the next part I am going to teach you about the potential, its unit and definition of electric potential. Now you know very well the potential at a distance R, that is nothing but the work done in moving the charge from infinity to R. If you move the charge Q0, that time you have to divide it by Q0. And then the potential is equal to work done per unit charge. As already told you that the definition of potential at a distance R, that is nothing but the amount of work done in moving 1 coulomb or unit charge from infinite to the position where you are going to find out the electric potential. And that work done is expressed in terms of a joule. Charge is expressed in terms of coulomb, and that joule per coulomb is called as a volt. And that's why in SI system the unit of electric potential is equal to joule per coulomb. One thing you have to remember. Now if the potential in an electric field is 1 volt, that means what? The definition of 1 volt is if 1 coulomb charge is displaced from infinity to the position and the total work done by external agency is exactly equal to 1 joule, that time you can say that at that point the electric potential is of 1 volt or 1 joule per coulomb. This way we have studied about the electric potential, and then after the potential difference. In exam, in most of the time RTM Nagpur University has asked derive an expression for the electric potential due to a point charge, one thing. At that time you have to consider one source charge at a distance R, one observation point, then consider 2 points A and B, then move the charge from A to B, move the charge Q0. That time you have to consider the force against the electric field. There are 2 types of work done. One is the work done by electric field, and second one is the work done against the electric field. In this potential and potential difference case, we have to consider the work done against the electric field, not by the electric field. By using external agency, we have to move that charge, and that work done will be stored in the form of potential, and that will be called as a potential. Okay, we stop here. Thank you.